All right, everybody, we're here with Tim Crouch. Thank you, Tim, for being here. I really appreciate your time.
Not a problem.
So, Tim, can you just give us a little background about what you do and about gutter growth? What you do with your mastermind class?
Okay. Yeah. So I've been in the gutter industry for 20 years. Did a little bit of storm chasing when I got out on my own. Um, like 7, 8 different states. That was probably about 13, 14 years ago. Started a company called Gutter Professionals. I grew it the past 10 years and I made an exit um, earlier in the year. And that's when I launched Gutter Growth. And now I help other gutter companies grow.
And how'd you get into coaching and mentoring? Because even though you had a very successful business, some guys just kind of completely get out of the industry. Like what kind of made you like, you know what, I want to help others? Like, did you always want to get into coaching, or is just something you kind of felt called to do?
So before I was in the gutter industry, I was a personal trainer. So I was kind of already in the industry of helping people. So like the past 4 or 5 years, I joined a lot of the gutter groups online, and it's just I don't know. I just like helping people. So I always kind of give my feedback the past few years as much as I could, and a lot of people would be in my inbox, and I'd be giving advice all the time. So it just kind of comes naturally, probably from my trainer's background. Um, but yeah, I got a passion for helping people.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Tim. And what are some unique challenges that your clients face that, once they kind of come on board in your program, you're kind of able to take them from here to there, just kind of like with your guidance?
I got a couple different groups. I got a group of guys that are doing under a quarter million, and then I got a group of guys that are above that, up to like the 3 million mark and in between. So it just depends on the smaller group. We're getting systems in place for them, getting them moving, kind of educating them how to get work, and we're just teaching them how to grow and scale.
Okay. And as you looking for a client, for yourself and your company, what are some traits or qualities if someone has a business that you would like to kind of put them under your wing and kind of help them out? Like, is there certain things you look for?
They have to have a growth mindset. So I'm not looking for anybody that's the main thing. If you got the right mindset, you're going to come in there and you're actually going to learn and you're going to apply everything and you're going to grow. So I'm looking for guys that are just hungry and they want to grow their business and they want to learn all they can.
Gotcha. Okay. And what do you think makes you different from other coaches and mentors out there and that are maybe in similar space? Would you, just what makes gutter growth so special? Because I've actually heard a lot of good things about what you're doing, and so you're doing something right.
It's industry specific. There's a lot of business coaches out there, but they don't particularly concentrate on one industry. So, I came from being a technician, so I worked at companies for 5, 8 years and in between. And so I got the technician background, so I know everything about the business in and out, not just on a business perspective, but also as a technician. And then I've made that transition from the technician mindset to the business mindset. And you got to, like I said, it's all about mindset and a growth mindset. You have to transition from being a technician to a business owner in order to grow and scale. So that's kind of what we do in the group is especially the smaller group, but the guys doing under a quarter million, we kind of get their mindset right. So that way they're able to grow and scale and work on their business and not so much in their business.
Yeah, I think, going doing the actual cleaning part and then getting off the truck is kind of where I think most guys get stuck at, just because you want to do it all. You want to do the cleaning, the sales, the market, and it's just impossible if you want to hit those X numbers that your company hit long ago when you sold your company. What do you think? Because there's so many guys that have you know businesses from, and I'll just say exterior clean business from what you do. What is the difference of someone who makes 50,000 a year, and so versus another guy who he spends the same on marketing, he spends the same amount of time posting on the Facebook groups, putting yard signs out. What is that difference? Because I think it's very hard for a lot of people who stay at that 50 grand a year. Like they can't, maybe it could be a growth like mentally, but what do you think that difference is to actually scale and get past, that roadblock that many guys get stuck in?
They got to implement more systems. So a lot of them, they just don't have any systems in place. So it's like they're taking all the calls, they're doing all the estimates, they're doing all the work. And then they don't think anyone else could do the work other than them. They don't think anyone's going to do it as good as they do it.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of transitioning from that mindset to I can train other people to do it and putting the systems in place and letting the systems work. Having someone answer that phone so you're not the one answering it all the time. Having systems to get the estimates out and to get the jobs closed and to get it on the schedule. Having systems for hiring, finding guys, keeping guys, having training systems. So it's all basically a bunch. Business is a big system made up of a bunch of little systems. So it's getting all those little systems in place a little bit at a time and then allowing them to work so that you can grow and scale.
Gotcha. Oh, absolutely. What do you think in your, this is kind of a random question, but what's your opinion in all these YouTube gurus that are like make 7 figures, a year by just door knocking, and they have zero experience at all, and most of these guys talking they don't even have prior business experience? Like, what's your whole take on right now how business is going with all these YouTube gurus just kind of doing a lot of the coaching mentoring versus someone like you've done it, like you literally have the background? Like, does that ever get in the way with your company? Like, as far as, people, maybe a client, instead of going to you for coaching, they'll just go on YouTube, like, oh, why do I need gutter growth when I have YouTube University?
Well, I mean, I don't really know about all the other coaches. I don't really follow or pay much attention to it, but I do know that I'm fine with them going and learning from everybody. If you could get a little nugget from somebody, like gutter growth isn't the only, one all that's the whole thing. You got to have the mindset so that you're always growing and learning. So if they could watch some YouTube videos and get a couple nuggets, that's great. The good thing about the mastermind is we help keep them accountable. So they're not only learning as we go, but they also have the accountability. They know that next month they don't do anything, we're going to be like, what's going on? And it keeps them motivated to actually follow through with the actions. So you're not going to really get the accountability with the YouTube videos, but I'm sure you could get some value out of it. I watch a ton of YouTube videos and I try to learn everything I can from everybody. So I'm cool with the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone did want your help, right? Are you like with your coaching and the mastermind? Is it strictly for the gutter industry, or could a window cleaner who's struggling, let's say they want to contact you, would that still apply? Are you strictly gutter industry only?
Strictly gutter industry only, but I'm pretty helpful. So if anyone contacts me with a couple questions, I generally guide them in the right direction.
Okay, and how'd you come up with the name? I love it, Gutter Growth. Like I'm on your website as we speak, and your logo is sick. I love how you got the GG there. Like, how'd you even come up with it? Because you do a very good job of branding and marketing.
Actually, my partner owns Mr. Pipeline. So they're kind of like,
Oh,
yeah, they're kind of like the masters at that. So
gotcha.
actually my buddy John came up with the name and uh I can't take credit for the logo either because he designed it. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mr. I know they do like SEO. Do they do ads as well? I think Google
they
ads.
do SEO, they manage AdWords. I think that
Gotcha.
they're getting into Facebook marketing. I'm not 100%. I know that
Mhm.
they're doing it for the lights business. Um, but yeah, they're killer on SEO. There's really no one any better.
Has so have you been with them for all your, because SEO is one thing that so many guys claim to be good at, and then I feel like a lot of companies, they're just trying to take your money. Like they string you along. Hey, it's going to take another 6 months. It's like SEO agencies do not have a good reputation, but maybe, but you seem like Mr. Pipeline, like they're the real deal.
Yeah, they're the real deal. When I first started, Gutter Professionals was my company. When I first started it, I had a couple different companies. I can't remember all of them. I know one of them was Town Square Interactive. And what I didn't like is that they're so big that they just don't really care about you. And every 2 months, you got a new agent who's kind of looking over your account. So they don't know what's going on with your account and they're learning it all over again. And so it's a nightmare with the big companies. So I like going with like a smaller type company. John cold called me maybe a year and a half into the business after I was kind of already trying a few things. We hooked up, and as soon as I hooked up with him, I started doubling my business every year.
Oh,
So
wow. Jeez.
yeah, you know, and the good thing about it is I was his first gutter company. So we kind of learned marketing the gutter
Mhm.
company together. Now he must have 60, 70 companies that are in gutters that he markets for. But I was always number one on the internet. So I mean, how can you get any better than that?
Uh,
And that was out of maybe like 150 gutter companies in my area.
wow. Are you a big fan of paid ads for marketing, Google and Facebook ads? Or are you more organic, door knocking, yard signs, SEO, things like that?
I was pretty heavy on AdWords. I've spent up to like 10 grand a month on AdWords. What I like about AdWords is they know what they want when they're coming to you. So it's like definitely a hot lead. Um, but that doesn't, discount Facebook marketing or social media marketing. What I like about social media marketing is you kind of get to build your brand and they kind of get to know you. So you're doing more branding and they're more familiar with you. So when they do end up using you, they might not be as a competitive, it might not be as a competitive lead
Right.
because they're kind of already warmed up to you and they see your content all the time. But
Yeah.
I also feel like most companies aren't really nailing it when it comes to the internet marketing or the social media marketing. They're just either leaving it out or they're doing a really bad job at it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's something that I've really tried to push a lot. And on it, and I'm surprised how much, and I'm talking about just the free social media using like the Facebook Reels that have done really well and things
Mhm.
like that. But yeah, because I've spent so much money on paid ads. It's so nice to get those leads organically where you're not paying for them.
Oh,
Those are the
absolutely.
best. Um,
Which it should definitely be part of what you're doing. You should get as much organic as you can. You don't want to pay for everything.
right. Yeah.
But
And
when you're scaling, you kind of need it, especially if
right.
you're going to get up to 3, 4, 5 trucks. That's not going to happen with organic.
Oh yeah, no, no, definitely. Absolutely. What is your short and long-term plan for either yourself or we could put or for gutter growth? Like what's Tim's goals for his short and long term?
As far as gutter growth goes,
Correct.
I mean, I'm not really a short-term guy, so I guess I'm only really thinking in long term. But I just want to keep growing it. We might add a few services. Right now, I'm just doing the mastermind. We're thinking about adding coaching services here in the future, and then also consulting services where I'll come out to you for a couple days at your location. But definitely the most cost effective right now is the mastermind.
And can you tell us a little bit about what that is, what they get from it? And then I don't know if you have like a set price or if it depends, if you could tell us that. So if anyone interested, this info would really help them out.
Yeah, no, I got two different prices. If it's like the guys doing under 250,000, we're at 295 or 297 a month. Um, there's no contract, so it's month to month. The guys that are doing upper, 500 up million plus, it's 497 a month.
Perfect. And what do they get out of it from the mastermind? Is it just like a Facebook group, or I don't know if they have, any conversations with
So
yourself?
so we have a Facebook group that they're a part of all month. It's kind of private, but we also do one meeting once a month on Zoom. We get together, me and John Majak run it. John's done business coaching for like the past 5 years, so he's got a lot of that experience. So you got him and his SEO and
Hmm.
marketing expertise, and you got me with my expertise in the gutter business. I also bring in outside people. Like last month, I brought in Tina because she's an expert at systems, and that month we were talking about systems. So sometimes I bring in other guys too that are experts in certain areas, and kind of get like the collective intelligence from everybody.
Got it. Okay. So they get the Facebook group, the one Zoom meeting, and then just whenever you bring.
And then they get my support throughout the month. I constantly got mastermind members texting me or sending me messages, and I kind of help them out throughout the month as well. So they got the support of me, they got the
Oh
support of
wow.
the community and the Facebook, and then they also have the once a month Zoom meeting.
Gotcha. And we talked about gutter growth, but what's your long-term plan for yourself is, removing gutter growth from that.
Aside from gutter growth, right
Correct.
now I'm launching a Christmas lights business.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in the middle of getting that going. Um, just ordered a bunch of product, got a trailer on the way, and I'm trying to get it all together before October.
Yeah, that's I was talking to I had a couple interviews yesterday, and man, and I haven't done Christmas lights yet. I really want to add it because we just do, all gutter cleaning for the fall, but
Mhm.
it seems like Christmas lights is blowing up. Everyone's doing the training. Like, I guess, as long as you're okay with just, ladder work, and but I heard the money is very good. And then, like if you lease the lights and then the following year the lights are paid off, so that's all profit. So it seems like Christmas lights are great.
I like Christmas more now.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no. How did you go through a training or you just kind of learn?
I did the Clippa training in Nashville. I did it
Oh,
right before the huge event that we just had about a week ago. And it was awesome. I learned a lot there. It was pretty valuable. It's definitely worth going.
do you do you feel like Christmas light? Do you feel it's going to be very complicated? Because I've never done it. I've honestly just looked at YouTube and stuff, but you think it's going to be very, I don't know, difficult or
I don't think if someone is already an installer or they're used to roofs that it really is.
yeah.
I was a little overwhelmed with it at first, and then I went and did the course, and then it's like it just clicked because they take you outside and they do it with you. You're wrapping bushes and trees, and
Yeah.
they're showing you how it's done. They're showing you how to mess with all the wires. So I mean, it's by the time I was done with the 2 day course, I felt that I'm fine doing it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not that hard, I don't think. I just think that, especially if you're an installer, you kind of already have an eye for what looks good and what doesn't.
Yeah.
You want to just do it sloppy or your crew's doing it sloppy. But I think it's easy for anyone that's already in this type of industry, cleaning, gutters, pressure
Mhm.
washing. It's going to be really easy to learn.
Okay. Are you a big fan of Cougar Paws?
Yeah, I used to use them when I was storm chasing mostly because Florida doesn't have those steep roofs. I mean, sometimes we do, but you get up north, it's those 12-12 pitches.
Yeah.
We used them a couple times on some cedar shake roofs,
Yeah.
and they worked great. I mean, those were the cleats, but you could take it off and put the
Right.
pads on for shingle. But we mainly used it on the cedar shake.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just ordered a pair because I've been using Huck boots, like ones I go pressure washing with. I've been using those for gutters. I'm like, and it's just on a steep pitch, it just does not feel safe. And then I heard like pitch hoppers are supposed to be pretty good.
Pit choppers. I
Yeah.
haven't tried them. I used when I was up north, I was using couch cushions.
Oh yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
it probably does the same thing.
It does. It does. I've been on 12-12s and you don't budge a bit.
Oh, you don't?
No, I mean they work.
Oh wow.
I imagine the pitch hopper's the same. It might be
Yeah,
better because it levels things out,
right.
you
What
know.
made you move from North to Florida?
Well, I'm from Florida.
Oh, okay.
Back in 2010 or 2008, 2009, 2010, there wasn't much work down here. So my
Hmm.
grandfather lived in Bryce, or no, what city was it? Dandridge, Tennessee.
Okay.
And that was a little bit, I think, south or north of Knoxville.
Yeah.
So I ended up settling in Knoxville because they had
Mm.
a hailstorm with big baseball size hail that just demolished a whole town and a few other towns around it. So that got me into the storm chasing business. I left Florida to do that, and then I went to like 7 other states, and I just went storm to storm to storm. Got tired of it being on the road, hotels and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So I ended up moving back, and that's when I started Gutter Professionals
Gotcha.
back
Okay.
in my hometown,
Oh, right. What part of Florida are you, like southern, northern Florida?
South Florida.
Oh, so like Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Not that far, like Palm Beach County.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Hmm. Close.
And yeah, how was huge? I'm so mad I wasn't able to go to the convention, but like I've heard mixed things like, oh, there's nothing you won't find. But for me, it's probably just being around other people that are like-minded, like you kind of going through the same journey, I assume.
Yeah, it was great. I think that networking is worth it, even if you don't get anything else out of it. The relationships that you build by going there and showing up to a convention and talking to people, I think that's the most important thing. Because I made some incredible connections while I was there, and you can't really put a dollar value on that
Oh yeah,
in
no,
the long term.
no, absolutely. And one of the last questions, and I do appreciate your time. For a new entrepreneur or someone already in the gutter space or just I'll just say home service space,
Mhm.
what kind of tips or golden nuggets would you give someone, whether they're new or just maybe their lead flow is slow and they're just struggling to, get jobs like any motivational from Tim to kind of keep pushing?
Yeah, you got to work on your personal development. So the more that you personally develop, the more that your business is going to develop because that's going to give you the character traits that it's going to take to grow your business. Also, you need to learn from people, get a coach, follow people, ask questions, get active in these groups, ask as many questions as you can. It's all about learning, 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 and then implementing what you're learning. But definitely get help. Don't just keep doing the same thing and nothing's working. Get some outside help, even if it's just getting in these groups and getting active in it and asking questions. You're going to learn a ton, and you might get that little nugget that's just going to be a big game changer for you. But it's not everything's not a huge game changer. Most of it's just implementing small little improvements every day. And before you know it, a year later, your business is in a completely different spot.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And I just want to say thank you so much. I know you're a busy man, so I do appreciate your time. And
I
thank
appreciate
you.
you having me on here.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure that people are going to get some good info from this interview. So thank you, Tim. Keep crushing it with gutter growth, man. Keep up what you're doing because I heard about you before I even like hit you up, and
Yep.
you're doing very good things, man. So keep it up.
Cool, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, you have a wonderful evening.
All right, you too.
All
Have a
right.
good night. See you.